In this video, we're going to talk about statistical notation, and this information is going to carry you through the course when you're doing statistical analyses. So basically, at the end of this video, you're going to know some new statistical notation, and you're also going to perform some calculations using that notation. Let's start with the basics. Measurements are data. Anything that we collect numerically, we call that data. And measuring a variable yields us a score or a value. So wherever we measure something and we come up with a number, we very often call it a score or a value. Scores for one variable are labeled X. And if we only have one variable, X is the label. But if we have a second variable, we label that second variable with a Y, the X and the Y variables. Sigma is a Greek symbol for summing or adding values. Sigma is always followed by a symbol or some mathematical expression. Whatever follows to the right of sigma, we're supposed to add it up. This expression identifies exactly how and which values are to be added together. So let's take a look. For example, if we have sigma and then X. Well, sigma means add up. Add up what? X are the scores. So sigma says add up the scores, or find the sum of the scores. A word of caution, please make sure that you are familiar with the order of operations. You've had this before, I know, but we follow the order of operations, and very often when students go off track with their statistics, it's because it's an order of operations problem. So basically, we're going to follow, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which means we do everything in parentheses first. Then we deal with the exponents or squaring. Next, we multiply and or divide. And if we have both of those things together, we just proceed from left to right, multiplication and or division. Before we get to addition and subtraction, we're going to add using this sigma symbol. So that sigma symbol comes in after the first three steps. And then any other addition and subtraction is done after the sigma sign is there, if it is there. It is very important, dare I say essential, that these operations be performed in the correct sequence. So here's an example. We have sigma and then X minus 1 in parentheses squared. So what do we do first? Well, we rely on PSY to tell us what to do first. PSY says parentheses. So what we do is we take each score and subtract 1, and we write those all down because we do what's in the parentheses first. And then it says take that score minus 1 and square it. So we take all those numbers that we wrote down and we square them. And then finally we add them all up together. So we're going to do some practice with this. Let's take a look. Using the following four values for X, 3, 1, 7, and 4, compute the following. I'm going to have you pause the computer now and try to figure these out, and then come back and I'm going to show you how to do it.
All right, we have our numbers at the top, 3, 1, 7, and 4. The first statistical notation says sum up, sigma means sum up, all the scores. So we can do that. 3 plus 1 plus 7 plus 4 gives us 15. Easy. The next statistical notation says sum up all the scores squared. How do I know that I'm going to square the scores first? I'm going to go to PSY, parentheses, and then exponents. This is an exponent, so I need to do this before I do the addition. So X squared is going to be each score squared. So 3 squared is 9, 1 squared is 1, 7 squared is 49, and 4 squared is 16. And if we add that all together, that gives us 75. The final statistical notation says sum up all the scores and then square them. How do I know I'm supposed to sum them up first? I'm going to come to PSY's parentheses. Anything that's in the parentheses we have to do first. This will look familiar. Sigma X is right here. So the sum of the scores we already know is 15. So we have 15 squared, and that gives us 225.
Here's the next learning check. For the following scores, find the value of each expression. They're listed here, And I'm going to have you pause the computer, work these out, and then come back. Working these out is critically important right now. You don't want to skip this step. I'll see you in a minute when you're done.
We have our numbers at the top, 61342, and the first direction is to sum up the scores. Sigma means sum up, and what comes after it is what we need to sum up, the scores. So here we go. 6 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2 is equal to 16. Next, we're being asked to sum up the squared scores. I know I'm going to do parentheses or exponents first right here. So I'm going to square each score and then I'm going to sum them up because addition comes later. So each score squared, here we go, 36 plus 1 plus 9 plus 16 plus 4 is going to give us 66. Our next direction is to sum up each score and then square that total. So we already have done that. We've taken the sum of the scores and we know that it's 16. So here this is asking us to take 16 times 16, which will give us 256. All right, we're moving along. The next one is a little bit more complex. We need to take each score and subtract 1 and then sum that up. I know this because I have to do what's in parentheses first. Each score minus 1. Let's do that. 6 minus 1 is 5. 1 minus 1 is 0. 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And we're asked to sum it up. So that gives us 11. Finally, we have this last piece, which is the most complex of them all so far. And what am I going to do first? Well, I've got parentheses, I've got exponents, I've got addition. First thing I do is parentheses. Take each score and add 1. So let's do that. 6 plus 1 is 7. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 plus 1 is 3. But we're not done. We still have to do something else. And that is to then square the scores. So I'm going to get rid of this here to make room. We're going to square each score and then we're going to add it up. So 49 plus 4 plus 16 plus 25 plus 9 is going to give us a total of 103.
All right, here's one more set. You have your numbers on the right, your X scores. Go ahead and pause the computer, work out items A through D, and then come back and check.
Our numbers are here, 954321. The first question is, what is the N? In other words, what is the number of scores? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our N is 6. The next question is asking us to sum up all the scores. We've done this before. We can do it again. 9 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 will give us 24. All right. Then we're asked to take each score, square it, and then sum that together. Again, I do this first because I know that exponents are here and addition is way over here. We need to do the exponents before the addition. So I'm going to take each score and square it. So 9 times 9 is 81. 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 4, or 4 squared is 16. 3 squared is 9. 2 squared is 4. And 1 squared is 1. If I add all those up, I get 136. And our final piece is asking us to take each score, add it up, all the scores together, and then square that total. Okay, so we've already done this EX. It's right here. Or not EX, sigma X. It's right there, which was 24. So basically, this is saying 24 squared. 24 times 24 gives us 576. Voila, we did it.
And that's it for this first lesson on an introduction to statistics. We've covered terminology. We've covered descriptive versus inferential statistics. We've talked about 7 different types of variables experimental versus non-experimental designs. We've talked about scales of measurement. And finally, we discussed research notation. So if you have any questions, don't suffer in silence. Come to the Hallway Conversation Forum. Bring them there. Let's have a good discussion. I look forward to hearing from you.